Do you find that your SAT score doesn't match your GPA? I hear it all the time. So come work with me. The standardized tests that you take for college entrance exams are beatable. Anything that's standardized is beatable. You just have to practice. So let me show you some strategies that we go over in our boot camps that we do online with students all over the world. So take a look at just a couple of strategies here. Take a look at this reading strategy. This is a vocabulary one. And what I like to do is let's cover up the answer choices. I want you to focus on what they're asking here. It says here, as used in line 65, fine most nearly means. So one thing that they love to do with answer choices is entice you with things that they think you're going to pick. And what I would like for you to do is focus on what it means to you. So if we actually go back to line 64 and read, by the time Epi was 3 years old, she developed a fine capacity for mischief and for devising ingenious ways of being troublesome. That's probably enough there. So let's take a look at what's happening in here. So we know that she's 3 years old and she's mischievous. She has ingenious ways of being in trouble. So what do you think fine capacity for mischief might mean? I think maybe she's really good at getting into trouble, right? So I'm going to just say really good. Now, let's uncover what it says here. Okay, acceptable, delicate, ornate, or keen. So right away, I feel like fine leather, that might be delicate or ornate. Acceptable doesn't quite work here, which leaves us with a word that you might not actually feel comfortable with, but it's the only one that is left that makes sense, and it's keen. And that does mean fine capacity, in this case, for mischief or ingenious ways of being troublesome. Just really good at this. Now, let's take a look at another one that I have, say, in the writing language. So take a look at this one. We're going to focus on number 24. Now it says here, when it has no prompt, you're usually being tested on like punctuation. And this looks like, okay, right here. To counter the rise of fast food and fast life, comma, a cohort of chefs, journalists, and sociologists spearheaded a slow food movement. We can just stop right there. So let's pay attention to what we see here. We currently have a comma, and now you can actually look at your answer choices here. Oh, take a look at B and D. Do you see how they're the same words, but the only thing that's different is a semicolon and a period? Grammatically speaking, they're identical. If they're identical, then they're both wrong. One does not dominate over the other for being correct. So B and D are gone. Now, let's talk about the colon. A lot of students are nervous about the colon, but the colon appears when you have a complete sentence before the colon, and then what comes after is some sort of explanation of what was said before the colon. So let's go take a look. It says, to counter the rise of fast food and fast life, comma. Now, we can't replace that with a colon because that's not a complete sentence. So right away, we can get rid of C, leaving our correct answer of A. It's so easy once you know how to do this. Now, let's go over to math. Let's take a look at a math example. So take a look at number 12 here. So what's happening here is we have a fraction equals another fraction. Anytime you see that, we're going to just simply cross multiply. So cross multiply there. 2a times 2 is 4a. 1 times b is b. Huh. We're done with that. And now it says, what is the value of B over A? So look, replace that for B, because it said B equals 4A. So now we have 4A over A, and looky there, cancel the A's, leaving you with 4 as your right answer. Now, let's do a more complicated problem. This actually comes from the same test. So let's look at one more time. Now, at first you might think, oh, that's not a fraction equals another fraction, but you can make it a fraction by just saying over 1. Now, cross multiply. So that would be x plus 1 times x plus 1 equals 2. Now, you might feel inclined to multiply out those binomials by using FOIL, but look what it says. What is a possible value of x plus 1? You're not solving for x. You're just saying what times what would equal 2. So let's just kind of look at our answer choices. A and B look a little complicated, but let's look at C. Is 2 times 2 equal 2? Absolutely not. So C is out. 4 times 4? Nope, that does not equal 2. So it's got to be either A or B. A still looks really off the chain difficult, so I'm going to leave that alone. Look at B. Oh, look, square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which is 2. That does match. So our answer is B. So what seemingly looks difficult doesn't have to be. You just have to practice. So here's what I've got happening that I would love for you to be a part of. I have got an online SAT boot camp with 8 seats open. That's it. I don't pack my boot camps with 40 students because I want you to have a voice. I want you to be able to ask questions. I want you to be able to interact with me. And it's not intimidating. It's fun. I allow it to be fun because I am energized to help you get the scores that you want. So here's what I have. So boot camp is starting in November. It starts Monday, November 6th, and it continues for 4 Mondays. So if you're taking that December SAT, this is the boot camp for you. So for $299, again, only 8 seats. So I want you to sign up right away and click that next button and let's get started. Let's work together. Let me show you how to master this test so you can get the scholarships you deserve. I hope to work with you very soon. Come see me.